Hello everyone, it's good to see you all again, and thank you so much for your comments on my last video. Here are some of my favorites. And of course, I appreciate you all, especially because now I am officially a YouTube partner, which is an amazing milestone, and I'm so excited and so happy for this. So thank you all. Thank you so much again. Guys, movies in the 2000s were really a special time, weren't they? I mean, it seemed like as a kid, every movie included some kind of talking animal, not just the animated movies like Madagascar or Disney's Bolt, the live action movies too. It was like Hollywood had a meeting and said, what if we made animals talk and sing, but make them real? And boom, suddenly every movie trailer sounded like, this summer, one dog is about to change everything. Then cue a dog's mouth being filled with peanut butter to make it look like they're talking, or even worse, a CGI mouth moving way too smoothly over a real animal's face, followed by some kind of fart joke, and smash cut to the dog skateboarding down a hill. I don't know. Is that a movie or did I make that up? If you were a kid in the 2000s, you lived through a cinematic era where talking animals weren't just normal, they were mainstream. You didn't even question it. Why is this chipmunk in a hoodie beatboxing on stage? Who cares? It's Alvin. Why is a Chihuahua leading a secret dog rebellion in Mexico? Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the ride. It wasn't just one movie. It was a whole wave. We had wisecracking dogs, kung fu guinea pigs, chipmunks with music careers, and cats who hated Mondays more than your dad. You couldn't walk into a Blockbuster without tripping over 5 DVD covers with a dog in sunglasses or a hamster holding a walkie-talkie. These movies had everything: celebrity voiceovers, over-the-top slapstick, talking animals with emotional arcs, and plots that made you ask, wait, who is this for? But we ate it up because we were 8. And if the dog talked, we were locked in, point blank, period. There was Stuart Little, a tiny mouse adopted by a human family and treated like he's just a slightly shorter sibling. Then there was Dr. Dolittle, where Eddie Murphy held full-on therapy sessions with animals who had trauma and sass. And then there was Good Boy, a film about a dog alien from space evaluating Earth's canines like some kind of furry Men in Black agent. This is real. Or maybe Beverly Hills Chihuahua, where dogs spoke in these dramatic monologues about loyalty and honor. Or a movie filled with guinea pigs like GeForce that said, what if Mission Impossible take out Tom Cruise and go to Petco and find an animal to replace him with? So today we're looking back at the glorious, chaotic era, the peak of Hollywood's obsession with giving animals personalities, punchlines, and full 3-act arcs, the golden age of live-action talking animals. Because if you grew up during this time, these movies weren't just weird little novelties, they were your childhood, and it's time we talked about it. So first up, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
We're chipmunks. Chipmunks.
Squirrels can't talk. These monks are moving in.
Cannonball.
Get out.
There's this new thing. It's called knocking.
Moving up. I've got something for you. It's your next big thing.
Idea. Ding, 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 ding.
And making it big time.
That video of your little guys, 10 million hits already.
Holy nuts.
Get ready for
Alvin.
Daddy's home.
Alvin.
Oh, yes.
Alvin.
This movie came out in 2007, and my only gripe with it is that it's called Alvin and the Chipmunks. Is Alvin not a chipmunk? Or is the band like the Chipmunks? I don't know. But they're called Alvin and the Chipmunks. Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. So, boom. Imagine going to the theater thinking you're about to see a fun family movie about a talking animal or two, and you end up watching 3 chipmunks drop Billboard 100 hits after hit. That's Alvin and the Chipmunks. This movie reintroduced the world to Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, but this time they were fully CGI. And honestly, they looked really good from a technological standpoint. Like, they look good. Even watching the movie now, it still holds up. The plot follows Dave Seville, played by Jason Lee, who is a struggling songwriter who ends up taking in 3 chipmunks who not only talk, but more importantly, sing. And even more importantly, can make him money. These chipmunks have got it all. Soul, pipes, style. I mean, they became music pop sensations almost overnight in the movie world and in our depressing real world. But of course, with fame comes drama, shady record execs, tour stress, and the classic, are we still a family conflict? Now, was the plot groundbreaking? No. Did it make sense? Kinda, if you ignore the whole dancing, singing, animal part. But was it entertaining? Yeah, absolutely. 10 out of 10. You put this movie on in front of me or in front of some kids and you won't hear the end of it. Alvin was the cool guy with hella aura. Simon was the brains, Theodore was the softy cutie one, and together they made that perfect trio chemistry. It made over $360 million worldwide just at the box office. That's not including merchandising or music sales. The songs were of course iconic. Not only did you already know the song and love the song, but now you love the high-pitched chipmunk version of it. Whether you wanted to or not, you were going to hear their high-pitched cover A Bad Day at least once in 2007, or even more iconic, their version of Funky Town. It was inescapable. The success of the movie kicked off an entire Chipmunk cinematic universe. There was Thor, Iron Man, Captain... Okay, no, I'm kidding. There's just 3 regular movies about chipmunks. So they had the Squeakquel and Chipwreck, and with each one, the adventures got wilder, the music got more chaotic, and the chipmunks somehow got even more famous. Looking back, Alvin and the Chipmunks was a turning point in like talking animal cinema. It said, hey, why stop at dogs? Let's give chipmunks a record deal. And Hollywood was like, bet. I mean, they made 3 of these movies, so they had to be making some money, right? They introduced the girl chipmunks, what they call the chipettes, and that's really when it kicked into overdrive. So yeah, Alvin and the Chipmunks is iconic. Made everyone obsessed with high-pitched voices and pop music. It was absolutely incredible and defined an era.
My friends, my name is Papi. Viva Chihuahuas. We have been dressed in sweaters and carried in purses. I say, no mas. I am tired of the jokes about our size. We will not be toys or fashion accessories. We will not answer to Fifi or Fufu. No mas! Viva Chihuahuas!
Nothing can prepare you for the rise of the Chihuahuas. Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Picture is 2008, you're watching TV, and suddenly a trailer comes on with a dramatic slow motion shot of a Chihuahua in designer shades walking in slow motion through the streets of Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills Chihuahua dropped on us like a cultural curveball. It starred Drew Barrymore as the voice of Chloe, a spoiled pamper purse dog living the high life in LA. Like, you know, we're talking spa days, doggy yoga, full closet, like London Tipton's dog, essentially. But then she gets lost in Mexico and suddenly the glam life is over and she's got to learn how to survive in the real world. It's like, you know, Legally Blonde, but with chihuahuas and more mariachi. The story follows Chloe as she tries to get back home. She's helped along the way by another dog named Delgado, who is a tough ex-police dog, and Poppy, who is a love-struck chihuahua voiced by the one and only George Lopez. And let me tell you, George Lopez was in his bag. This was the perfect period for George Lopez. We was watching him on Nick at Night around this time, 2008. So his show was already popular. And then he got on Beverly Hills Chihuahua. It was a done deal for kids.
Oh, nice.
Mi corazón,
Oh, the gardener.
you are more lovely than the dawn. Wow. Mi corazón.
Poppy had great quotes. He was in his bag. It was perfect. The attitude, he was ready to risk it all for Chloe from minute one. I'm pretty sure most of the movie's marketing was surrounded by the fact that George Lopez was a dog in it. And I mean a dog in it. What made this movie stand out though was how seriously it took itself while being completely ridiculous. There were Aztec ruins, dogfights, secret underground canine resistant groups, and dogs with elaborate backstories. It's like they threw every possible dog related trope into a blender and hit cinema. And people showed up. It made over $140 million at the box office, which doesn't sound crazy now, but if you thought it was a one and done, nah. Disney saw the vision and dropped 2 sequels, Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2 and Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3, Viva la Fiesta. The first one had a big Hollywood backing and theater energy. The sequels went straight to DVD, but still very much part of the early 2000s kid culture. Like if you had those DVDs and you popped those in the minivan during a family trip, you were that family. So yeah, Beverly Hills Chihuahua was absurd, but it was fun, flashy, and full of heart. Plus it added some Latino flair to the talking animal genre in a way that you hadn't really seen before. I mean, it was peak 2008 energy, and honestly, I'd rewatch it, no shame. But if we're gonna talk about small animals, let's talk about the smaller one, but probably the largest movie, and that is Stuart Little.
I'm home.
You don't always have to look alike
Are you all nuts? He's a mouse.
to feel like family.
It's not just a mouse. He's family.
Stuart Little on video and DVD.
All right, so for 1 second, we're gonna go back to the late 90s real quick. Yes, I know Stuart Little dropped in 1999, but I do definitely consider it a part of the talking animal era of the 2000s. It's really on that cusp. This movie was big. I mean, like, huge. The mouse had licensing deals, Happy Meals, and was basically the face of high-end CGI animals for a solid chunk of the decade. The movie starts with a human couple called the Littles who are going to an orphanage to adopt a child and come home with a mouse. A literal mouse. They saw all the kids at the orphanage and said, nah, but how about that rodent on the ground there? Just go to PetSmart at this point. This is one of my... I have a gripe with this movie because that's so frustrating. I will report them to the adoption agency so quick, but we'll save that for another day. Anyway, they get the rat. Stuart wears basically a full outfit, jeans, sneakers, a sweater, and instantly tries to fit in to his new human family, but not everyone's thrilled for some reason. Who knows why? The family's cat, Snowball, is not having it. I wonder why. You brought home a snack for this animal. Stuart is prey. Have they not seen Tom and Jerry? Snowball's upset and frustrated because, like, you mean to tell me that this rodent lives here now? And naturally, chaos follows. George Little, their only son, played by Jonathan Lipnicki, confesses he does not like Stuart as a brother because he's a mouse. Stuart asks Eleanor and Frederick to find some information about his biological parents because he's feeling lonely, and I guess, is it making mouse friends? I don't know. Now that I'm kind of describing the movie, it's definitely a wild take. I think it's based off a book or older cartoon series. I'm sure many of them will be sounding wild though. But in all honesty, this movie was pretty sweet. If you like put your blinders on and just watch the movie for what it is, it's a sweet blend of like heartfelt and hilarious. You had Stuart trying to drive a toy car around Manhattan, and not gonna lie, he was looking cool as hell in the car. He joined a model boat race in Central Park and dodging every danger imaginable like it was no big deal. He had charm, he had courage, and somehow, even though he was 2 inches tall, you rooted for him like he was a superhero. Visually, it was kind of a technical marvel for the time. I mean, the CGI for Stuart was actually pretty impressive back then and still holds up today. He interacted with the human world in a way that felt believable, and Michael J. Fox's voice gave him so much personality. And let's not forget, this movie kicked off a whole franchise. There was Stuart Little 2, which honestly was just as fun and doubled down on the mouse drama, and there was Margalo the bird. I remember first seeing this movie at my grandmother's house in Alabama. Good times. There was also a third one that went straight to DVD and turned full animation, but we don't talk about that one. Stuart gave us that classic small character, big heart energy. It was adorable, slightly weird, and incredibly rewatchable. The kind of movie you pop in on a sick day from school and suddenly you just feel better just watching. But when most of us got sick, we go to a doctor. But when animals are sick, they go to see Dr. Dolittle, the star of our next movie.
Tonight.
Hello.
It's just what the doctor ordered. A Dolittle double on Bounce.
Stop! Slow down!
Shut up!
Dr. Dolittle and Dr. Dolittle 2, starting tonight, 10/9 Central, on Bounce.
This is one of the OGs of live-action talking animal movies, Dr. Dolittle, starring Eddie Murphy, and it came out in 1998 and absolutely paved the way for a whole genre. I mean, this man was out here talking and having full-blown conversations with tigers, guinea pigs, monkeys, dogs, you name it. The wild part though was that nobody else could hear them. It was just him, and apparently as a young kid, he was always weird. He could talk to dogs, or at least understand them, and thought he was a dog himself. At least that's what they kind of allude to in the first scene. His dad ends up calling some exorcist to get the devil out of him, apparently, and after that he never spoke to animals again. So I guess now as an adult he forgot that he could ever talk to animals. Also, Raven is one of his daughters in this movie. Raven was working. She had work. Like young Raven Simonier, she was getting work. And Kyla Pratt is also his daughter in this movie, who ends up getting the same abilities in the subsequent movies like Dr. Dolittle 3. So as an adult, Dolittle is kind of a jerk. He hates dogs. He doesn't like animals in general. And of course, he's a regular people doctor now. Well, for now. But one night coming home from work, he almost runs into a dog voiced by Norm Macdonald and swerves his car and hits like a lamppost and hits his head, I guess. Immediately after, he can hear the dog talking, and he's kind of like Eliza from The Wild Thornberrys. Slowly, he starts hearing more and more animals talking, which obviously makes him feel very crazy. Also, not only does he understand the animals, but they understand him to like a great capacity. And many of these animals are very funny. The main animal is a dog named Lucky, which he does end up adopting. After helping an owl during his family vacations, he realizes that maybe he can actually help other animals, like treat them medically. So he starts doing vet work on the side, or more so, he's kind of forced to do vet work. These animals basically they group up on him and force him to help them. And because they don't stop talking, he's annoyed to a point where he's like, all right, I gotta help y'all, to basically make them shut up. So he's doing animal work on the side and I guess doing veterinarian work while also trying to keep his human doctor job. But he gets institutionalized and absolute chaos ensues. Every moment of him in the first 30 to 40 minutes make it seem like he's so out of his mind. It's wild. I can't emphasize enough how stressful it was to see so many animals inside of their home who want help with their ailments. The amount of animal trainers on this set had to be wild just to get these animals to say their lines, hit their marks. I know they're not actually talking, but you know, they have blocking and stage directions, all that. You had animals with real issues, an alcoholic monkey, a blind horse, a guinea pig that sounded like he was fresh out of New York street corner.
That's it. Back up. Hey, don't run over the cage now. Oh, man, you scared the crap out of me, see? There it is.
Shut up. Shut up right now.
This movie was filled with punchy one-liners, I have to admit, over-the-top animal personalities, and Eddie Murphy doing what he does best, reacting hilariously to ridiculous situations. This movie was huge. I mean, it made like $290 million at the box office and had so much impact that it sparked a whole franchise. There was Dr. Dolittle 2, which focused more on the animal world and had a big environmental subplot, and then a bunch of straight-to-DVD sequels starring Kyla Pratt as his daughter, who inherited the gift. Let's take a second to appreciate how wild this concept really is. A grown man suddenly starts communicating with squirrels and pigeons, and instead of telling someone, he just rolls with it. I mean, it is what it is. That's dedication. That's cinema. It's hilarious. Dr. Dolittle was one of those movies that made kids look at their pet a little differently, trying to figure out what they're really saying. I still look at my dogs and wonder, like, are you hiding something from me? Can you talk too? It sparked imagination, and Eddie Murphy absolutely carried it with his energy. It's not just a movie about talking animals. It's a movie about embracing weird, rolling with the punches, and using your gift, no matter how strange, to help others. And I really like that. But this next movie probably had the strangest plot, and either none of you saw this movie at all, or all of you saw this movie, and my guess is that none of you probably saw it. I feel like I'm the only one who's ever heard of this movie. We're talking about Good Boy.
Everybody's talking
You can really understand me. Yep. Can I have a cookie?
about one of the year's best family DVDs.
Red light, whoa, hold up.
Green go!
Good Boy. Go fetch the fun on video and special edition DVD.
The movie starts out pretty normal. A kid named Owen, who's probably like 12 and still working on his social skills, begs his parents for a dog. Very relatable setup, right? He gets a scruffy little dog from the pound and names him Hubble. Cool. Normal so far. But then, plot twist, Hubble starts talking, like full-on sentences with the accent. Turns out this isn't an ordinary dog. Hubble is actually a dog from outer space sent to Earth to check up on our dogs because apparently they were supposed to take over the planet a long time ago, but just ended up becoming pets. I swear everything in this movie is real. It's actually the movie that inspired me to make this video you're watching now. I thought it might have been a fever dream when I was remembering it, but I looked it up again and yeah, it was real. So Hubble is like, I'm here on a mission. Y'all are supposed to be the rulers, not cuddling on couches and chasing tennis balls. And now he has to figure out if Earth dogs have lost their way. Meanwhile, Owen is just vibing with his talking space dog and trying to keep the secret from everyone else, which is hard because Hubble is out here holding meetings with the neighborhood dogs like it's a pup summit. I think what's wild is that all the dogs start talking once Hubble arrives, and suddenly you've got poodles with attitude, bulldogs with wisdom, and terriers gossip like suburban moms. It's like Planet of the Apes, but make it dogs. Eventually, the big dog boss, the Greater Dane, a giant holographic space dog, shows up to inspect Earth. And let me tell you, this Dane was not impressed. He's basically saying like, y'all were supposed to be running this thing. Why are you letting humans dress you in sweaters? The movie is hilarious. It's weird and surprisingly sweet. Underneath the alien dog council drama, it's really about friendship and acceptance. Owen's bond with Hubble actually grows into something kind of more emotional, which is not what I expected from a movie where dogs do interstellar espionage. And visually, I mean, it's pretty decent for 2003. The dog's mouth animations were very 2000 CGI, which somehow made it even better. I don't know how to describe it, but it gives that nostalgic charm where it doesn't have to look perfect. It just has to be fun. Good Boy wasn't a massive blockbuster, but if you caught it on DVD or cable, it definitely stuck with you like it has with me. It had that hidden gem energy, and it made you feel like you discovered something special. A dog movie, but kind of make it sci-fi. So now we have to talk about Garfield.
He's got a big appetite. He's got a big ego.
Down, dumb dog.
And on Friday, the big screen
I just had to do that.
may not be big enough. Garfield the movie, rated PG, Friday.
Okay, so this series is kind of iconic. First off, we got to talk about Garfield himself. Voiced by Bill Murray, interesting choice, but I think it works. This movie is obviously based on the newspaper comic strip of the same name. Remember the funnies? Those were like the memes before we had computers and stuff. Anyway, the plot is basically that John Arbuckle adopts a dog named Odie. Garfield, who's used to being the only pet and the top diva in the house, does not like this new change, of course, and Garfield's whole vibe is literally main character syndrome. He's lazy, he's grumpy, he's snarky, and lives for food and TV. Total homebody energy, right? So basically a normal cat. Garfield is basically a jerk to Odie, and because he's being mean, John forces him to sleep outside. He forces Garfield to sleep outside. When Odie comes out to comfort Garfield, he gets inside and locks Odie out. And when Odie runs away, he's picked up by an elderly woman named Mrs. Baker. John and Liz search for Odie while Garfield's friends express their disappointment with him regarding his treatment of Odie. When Garfield sees Odie on television and hears Chapman announce that he and Odie are going to New York, Garfield sets out to rescue Odie, and John discovers Garfield is also missing, so he asks Liz to help search for him and Odie. Garfield gets into the broadcast tower via the air vents and finds Odie locked in a cage, but Chapman enters and secures a shock collar to Odie, which, when activated, releases an electric shock that forces Odie to perform tricks. Odie basically got kidnapped by an evil dog trainer who wanted to exploit him for his sick dance skills. Yes, there's a whole plot where Odie can dance at some talent show. This movie turns into a weirdly intense quest with CGI cat hijinks, a side of physical comedy, and somehow heart. I mean, Garfield starts out selfish, but eventually risks his fluffy orange butt to save his dog brother, which is amazing growth for the character. Visually, Garfield looked not great. Even in 2004, people were like, why does he look like that? Some people described him as a Cheeto Puff with eyes, but when I was a kid, it didn't bother me that much at the time. It was campy, goofy, and totally aimed at kids who just wanted to see Garfield be messy. Despite the mixed reviews, it made over $200 million worldwide, which was enough for them to greenlight a sequel, Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties, because of course Hollywood loves to milk a franchise. Check out my other video where I talk about bad movie sequels. Garfield the movie isn't winning any awards, of course, but it absolutely delivered on chaotic cartoon energy and early 2000 nostalgia. If you were a kid at the time, there was a good chance you saw it, you loved it, and maybe even quoted it. I Hate Mondays line lives on forever. I mean, people have been saying that before even Garfield was a thing, but you get the point. So let's talk about some more dogs. We have Underdog.
Coming up next, it's Underdog on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
This movie was based on a classic 1960s cartoon by the same name, and I'm sure some of your parents or uncles might remember. Heck, maybe some of you remember. But Disney said, let's give this dog a CGI makeover because everyone's doing it, and toss him into the live action mix. As far as effects, this one is probably the worst. It's a movie about a beagle with a cape who talks, rhymes, and fights crime. Didn't mean for that to rhyme. Oh wow. Kind of like Superman's Kryptonian dog, Crypto? Is that his name? Yeah. The story kicks off in a very superhero origin kind of way. A police dog named Shoeshine gets exposed to some kind of experimental chemical, because of course, and suddenly he has superpowers. We're talking about super speed, super strength, flight, you name it. And yes, he can now talk. Naturally, he gets adopted by a teenager named Jack who discovers Shoeshine's powers and tries to help him become a full-blown hero. I don't know about you, but if my dog could talk, I'd be annoyed as hell. And I mean, I love my dogs, but I feel like they talk enough already as it is. They would just at that point you need to get a job. I'm sorry, you have superpowers, yeah, go be productive, go do something. So the dog then takes on the alter ego of Underdog and starts saving the city from crime and chaos. But every hero needs a villain, right? And in this case, it's the mad scientist Dr. Barnes Sinister, played by Peter Dinklage, and his sidekick Cad, who's played by Patrick Warburton. Iconic duo, honestly, very funny. They're trying to capture Underdog to replicate his powers and do evil science things, right? Classic story plot. Underdog is voiced by Jason Lee, the guy from the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, and he's throwing quips the whole movie, like legit rhyming half of his dialogue, which is kind of impressive and annoying depending on your mood, but it does add to the whole cartoonish charm. The whole movie, it was campy. It leaned into it hard. I mean, really hard. The graphics of it did not age well at all. I don't know if I can emphasize that enough. Honestly, the whole concept is weird as hell on itself. Outside of a cartoon TV show, it just kind of doesn't work. At least how they did it, it didn't work. It's very 2007. The dog's flying scenes are hilariously awkward. The talking mouths, very weird. Almost everything about this movie took me out of it. My suspension of disbelief couldn't be suspended. This wasn't trying to be high art though. It was trying to be fun. And if you were a kid, you might have liked it. You might have not. I don't know. I don't think I liked the movie as a kid. Also, there's a dog romance subplot with Polly, the Cocker Spaniel next door, voiced by Amy Adams, because why not throw in a little puppy love? Box office wise, Underdog made around $65 million, which wasn't huge, but enough for it to live on in DVD bins of every Walmart in America for the next decade. So yeah, Underdog was loud, weird, and full of corny superhero action, but it knew what it was doing. It brought a classic Saturday morning cartoon into the 2000s live action world and gave us a dog and a cape saving the day, and honestly, that's kind of beautiful. But this next movie was full of action, suspense, and funny. Last but definitely not least, we're talking about GeForce.
The new Disney movie GeForce is conducting a test with Tracy Morgan that asks,
so you want to join the GeForce? The GeForce is a squad of super spies who get a real kick out of danger. I love my job! They're about to blast their way into theaters in Disney Digital 3D. Ooh, but first, I've got to make sure you can handle it. Tune in to find out if you've got what it takes to roll with the GeForce, baby.
You can find out tomorrow during the premiere of Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana at 8, 7 Central.
Right here on Disney Channel.
GeForce came out in 2009. It might be the most what if we gave the marketing team full control movie I've ever seen. It's about a squad of super spy guinea pigs working for top secret US government agencies. Yes, guinea pigs, you heard that right. And yes, it went to theaters. It did not go straight to DVD. You probably saw the poster in a movie lobby and thought it was fake, but it was real. Too real. It felt like this movie and the poster combination was the most 2000 thing ever. Bright colors, spy gear, some kind of talking animal, and Disney on the box. I mean, that's $100 million success story already. The elite GeForce team includes Darwin the leader, Juarez the martial arts expert, and Blaster the weapons specialist voiced by Tracy Morgan, and Speckles the cyber intelligence mole voiced by Nicolas Cage. Already, that's a pretty good cast. Plot-wise, their mission is to infiltrate the residence of home electronic billionaire Leonard Saber and acquiring information about a new microchip that he has developed for household appliances to take over the world. No exaggeration here. They uncover a plot where toasters, coffee machines, and microwaves are being turned into killer robots by a corrupt AI system, and it's up to the guinea pigs to save humanity. There are action scenes, like full-on Michael Bay style explosions, but with guinea pigs ziplining across kitchen counters and using jetpacks. The budget was definitely pretty high. If it wasn't, the movie looks really good, even for today's standards. Like, they look fully polished and well integrated into the human world. It gave Spy Kids energy, but with rodents. And of course, there's the classic, we got disbanded by the government, so now we have to prove ourselves plotline. The team goes rogue, gathers intel, outsmarts humans, and has heartfelt moments in between fart jokes and chase scenes. It's absolutely wild. Let's not forget Mooch, the literal fly with the camera strapped to his back. Bro was a drone before drones were even popular. GeForce made almost $300 million, $292 million worldwide, which I think is pretty huge numbers for a movie about rodents. It had video games, McDonald's toys, the whole merch machine. It wasn't just a movie, it was a movement for like 4 to 6 months. This movie was pretty good, I'm gonna be real, at the time. At the time, it was pretty good. Now, when I rewatched it, it's okay. It's all right. It holds up. The movie's not deep, it's not subtle, but it's loud, fast, and weirdly emotional at times, which is very much a time capsule of the 2009 kid movie Chaos. And if you were around 10 when this movie came out, it's an instant classic. If you were watching it for the first time as an adult, you might question reality a little bit, and that is the beauty of live action talking animal movies in the 2000s. So, what happened? Why did these movies fall out? Well, for one, the novelty wore off, right? Once you've seen a guinea pig using a grappling hook or a chihuahua lecturing you about honor and destiny, there's really nowhere else to go. Audiences changed, chases shifted, and studios started moving towards animated animal adventures like Zootopia and Sing. But for a hot moment in the early 2000s, these movies were it. They were very clear in their identity, weird, unhinged, and kind of iconic. They weren't trying to be deep or philosophical, they were just trying to entertain kids and sell a lot of merchandise, of course. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, let me know in the comments. Which of these movies do you remember, or which one had you completely forgotten and had erased from your memory? Let me know if there was a movie maybe that I missed. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.